Well, hello again, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Carpo's Corner, or 15-minute free thinking, or Carpo's Thoughts, or Carpo's this, or Carpo's that, whatever. Just another episode of something. Today we're going to talk about a word called vapid, and I'm going to explain why I think basically we've kind of underestimated the ignorance of humankind, but I don't know what's going on up the street, but there's some squeaky truck that's like, I don't know, there's always something noisy going on. Am I getting old? So, vapid, the term, by definition, the first definition is offering nothing stimulating or challenging. So, vapid would mean basically every soccer mom's argument about politics, or no, I'm being very condescending probably there and stereotyping, but vapid is often used to describe just the nothingness of, say, Hollywood celebrities would be a great example. The types of controversies and issues they have, which it's like, oh God, it's some kind of drama, but there's nothing actually there. There's no substance. People who seem complicated, people who are watched constantly by the public, but really are just airheads or idiots. And I know it's hard to talk about that for a lot of us because you don't want to point the finger and assume anyone's an idiot. But if we can't acknowledge that a lot of people are very shallow and weak-minded, we can't decide who is strong-minded. So, to give you an example, I made a video a couple of years back, several years back. I think I made a couple called "Are There Good People?" or "Are There People That Are Better Than Others?" And a lot of people answer with the resounding "Hell no! Nobody's better than another person." But then you say, do you think that you're better than a murderer? You say, well, of course. I say, then by your own definition, you've basically said that you're better than another person. I'm like, well, but they're a killer. I'm like, but that's your interpretation. Maybe their murder was done and sanctioned by a government. That's also known as a soldier in battle. Is that okay? And it gets into this very complicated, subjective discussion about, I don't know, what is normal, what is right, what is wrong. The terminology, it just becomes very weak. But to get back to the point, the argument about vapid discussions has to do with the fact that a lot of people don't really have anything insightful to say. Whereas a lot of people do, but they're afraid to speak out because they're afraid of being ridiculed, because intense topics inspire intense scrutiny. And when we talk about something that is near and dear to people, something that is sensitive, for example, racism or homophobia or soldiers going to war or left and right politics or water rights or whether or not people should put up fences and walls, I've had so many mixed feelings about everything in my life. There's part of me that says, borders are ridiculous and, the conversation is moot, that it doesn't matter. People should have the freedom to do what they want. But, of course, instantly my reality kicks in that you cannot do anything you want. Because if that were true, you could get 10 guys that say, let's take over this guy's land, and there's nobody that will do anything about it. That's why law enforcement exists. That's why we have rules that we've spent thousands of years developing. And now we have this system which, has millions of individual laws and regulations and stipulations as to how you're supposed to be a human. And I'm sorry to seem to go off topic here, but the point of this is that being just a human adult in the United States of America these days, and any day, has been so complicated that you basically have to dedicate most of your life to understanding people and the markets and the world around you to even know what you're talking about when you go to vote, when you go to share information with other people. There was a time when a lot of bad books were published. However, in order to even publish a book, you had to write the story, proofread that story, have it edited, and then send it to a publisher and decide whether or not they were going to risk publishing it. Now, a lot of stuff was banned at one time or another, but the point being that there were some publishers who wanted to publish the most extreme stuff, and they were always open to it. But even they would turn down certain bullshit. But with the internet, nothing is turned down. Basically, the whole of YouTube and every other site has become, well, at least at one time or another, it was like The Sun or the National Enquirer. Like, the front page could be all conspiracy theories and bullshit, and it really, now with the algorithms, it totally depends on what you're looking for, what you look up. It's far from perfect, but it's eerily accurate and creepy these days. But back to the word vapid itself, the reason why all of this is relevant. I don't know who I am to determine whether a conversation that is shallow is worth having or not. For example, hey, how you doing? Wow, what's up? It's fucking hot outside. Yeah, dude. Pretty sunset. Yeah. Man, I love nights like this. Yeah, these are just conversations. But they're important. They're not shallow. That's not the kind of shallowness I'm talking about. I'm saying, which Gucci purse do you want to pick up next week? Which kind of bullshit, politics can we push this week? This empty promises, empty value type attitude. How do I put this without being a dick and sounding arrogant? It doesn't matter. I always probably sound arrogant to someone. Doesn't matter, and I've overcome that. But so much of the shit we see today on YouTube and elsewhere, and when I say YouTube, it's because it's the main video platform. I realize there are many others. I don't use TikTok. I believe TikTok is a cesspool of shit, but I honestly believe nobody should use TikTok. I mean, when you sign your consent to use TikTok, if you have the app on your phone, everything you have on your phone has been monitored. Basically, if you've installed TikTok on your phone, most likely every text message you've ever sent, every email you've sent from your phone has been sent to China. It's just a fact. That's not even speculation. Like, it's well known that this is going on. That's why the U.S. military doesn't allow TikTok on soldiers' phones. And if you're cool with that, so be it. But anyway, the point being that YouTube is bad enough. They have their own algorithms. They check and confirm different topics. And like, I had a strike on my channel yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And they said, you have a strike on your channel. You can't upload any videos for several days, 2 weeks or whatever. And it's because you have medical misinformation. So I disputed the claim, and then they reviewed it manually, and within an hour reinstated it. And grateful. I mean, I was being kind of arrogant. I was saying how ridiculous it is that people are wearing 10 masks while they're hiking on trails, that kind of stuff. But it's freedom of speech. Come on, let's be reasonable. The point being that these discussions need to be had. When I talk about topics like that, it's not just for entertainment or to get views. I do it because it's on my mind. And so it becomes very complicated when something that's bothering me happens to be in the news at the same time or is a big topic. I'm like, how do I talk about this without seeming like I'm trying to jump on some bandwagon and just say, oh, I'm talking about, trans culture or racism or, some big ticket topic that everybody can't seem to handle as fucking adults. Just have a discussion. Or the differences between men and women, or you know, the fact that human beings are all unique and that we need to fucking be able to reckon with this, but we're not. We're just being idiots. We're still fighting about left and right and who's right in politics, not realizing that both parties, they don't give a shit about you. And your doctors, the pharmacies, the pharmaceutical companies, the people trust, think you have their best interest at heart. They don't give a shit about you either. It's about the bottom line and the shareholders and how many can they sell. And we're in a weird place. Brings me back to the consumerism discussion and I guess what's important to you. You know, I made a video previously today about this, but I haven't uploaded it yet. Or maybe I have by the time this one's uploaded. I don't know. I'm on a roll. I'm just making a few because I have a lot to talk about. And that's, you know, that's the thing. I feel like that's the natural flow. You can't expect people to make videos every week or every day on cue and have the same mentality. But that's why I love my channel, because I can just wait until I have a bunch of thoughts at once and then just make all the videos and upload them. Whenever I make a lot in one day, I end up uploading most of them and then keeping a couple just for my patrons. And that's my plug to my Patreon account at Carpo719. There's also the thanks button down below. And in the description, I often have the PayPal address if people want to contribute. I'm also setting up to sell all the jewelry that I made. Like, I have all this resin glow-in-the-dark jewelry with fungus that I put in it. A lot of people have asked. Look, I'm very awkward about these things, and I feel insecure about my own art sometimes because I have imposter syndrome, like a lot of folks do. Imposter syndrome is something that a lot of people who create or have achieved things, built things, created them, whatever, feel about their art. You look at it for a while, you're proud of it, then all of a sudden you just think it's shit and you don't want to sell it. I have like 50 necklaces and 50 to 100 bracelets that I've made of resin with various cannabis inside, kratom inside, like, you know, cool glow-in-the-dark, weird swirly colors, and alcohol inks, and I mean, I have a video all about that shit, but I'm just like, oh, now I feel like it's been a while, so it's hard to like feel confident about it. And I don't know if you all resonate with that idea that once it's been too long, I guess they do call it the honeymoon effect. When you're really excited in a marriage, right? When you first get married, often that's why they use that term, because when you fall in love with an idea, often you get depressed later because you can't feel the same way you did at that time when you first had the idea. It's like you're never going to. I have a friend who's been making hats, these awesome fucking bucket hats. I shared them before, and his name's if any of you want to support him, the name is Rag Hats with Hatz, hats with a Z, and his name's Scoey, and he makes these great hats, and he's given our family a whole bunch of them because we've been friends since we were kids. But he has had he wanted to find something to occupy his time and to start his own business, and so he started making these, and he started sewing them and getting better and better and better. And that's what life's really about, is just getting better at things and feeling confident about what we do. It's the same way I was in construction my whole life, and then I finally started building tiny homes again, not again, but doing construction again, building tiny homes, which I, by the way, side note, share on my other channel, CARPOCRAFT. It's just CARPOCRAFT is one word, and that's my main channel. Really, it's the first account I ever made on YouTube, and Carpo719 was like a branch account to talk about weird shit. Originally conspiracy stuff and apocalypse things. But anyway, yeah, it goes way back. And at this day and age, I've learned so much on my channel in the whatever 5,000 videos I've made about people, about how to not take things seriously, not let trolls get to you, not let life get to you, to be as stoic as possible, I'm going to say that the internet has benefited me immensely by being able to find everything I want right away. But I'm also an addict today, and that brings down the happiness level just a little bit. That kind of sucks, you know. But it's okay. One day the lights will go out. When they do, hopefully we'll all be ready. And I think that's about all I have to share on this video. I just wanted to kind of ramble for a minute because I enjoy it. I like talking to the camera, but I still feel weird because when I upload it, a lot of you have amazing comments, but that I can't always respond to in kind. But I feel like this is my side of the discussion, and your response is the response you have to it. But I can't respond with the same amount, and I know that silly. Most people don't expect me to respond with a whole long comment like they did, but I try, and I really think a lot about what people say, and that's why I've kept my channel the way it is. That's why I haven't tried to make it overbearing and entertaining, but just talk about topics. Some are good, some are bad. It's just so weird getting older in this world, isn't it? I mean, my God, when I started my channel I had like pretty short hair, almost bald at times, and now I have like this long ass hair and gray in my beard, and it just trips me out. Like, it's kind of like a story of my life as an adult, but as I said earlier, what do I expect out of it? I don't know. I think I've got everything I want right now. I'm happy. I wouldn't mind $1 billion just so I could give it away and, you know, to people I love and make people happy that I know are broke. That's pretty much the old American, the real American dream. It's not being a millionaire so you can buy fancy shit. If you're an adult about it, you just want to help out your family that's hating it, and you know, anybody you know who suffers from money, you can make sure that they're not suffering anymore. Even though we all know that even if you gave $1 million or $5 or $10 million to everybody you know, they wouldn't be happy, because it all comes from in here, man. I mean, you've got to earn it. You've got to work towards it, and it's a lifelong process. You know, it's temporary. Everything is. Pain is temporary. Pride is forever. That was the quote from the wrestling team, I think, when my kid was in wrestling. And I was like, yeah, pain is temporary and pride is forever. But, you know, pride is temporary as well. Everything's temporary. That's life. Peace out. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for being you.